Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the whole team at Longyi Property, I thank you very much for joining us here today and welcome you to the auction of 30 Lisbon Street in Glen Waverley. To all of our bidders and buyers, my instructions to you are simple. Make sure to bid bold, bid aggressively and bid to the absolute maximum of your capacity. Give yourself every opportunity to be the lucky and successful buyer of this magnificent opportunity. Truly a rare find on the marketplace here today and one of the best properties on the market here today, marketed magnificently by the whole entire team here. Of course, your listing agents, none other than Ali and Faye, supported by the rest of the team. We've also got Candy and Grace and Luhan as well. If you do have any questions about the property, need any support with your bidding endeavours, make sure to flag down one of the capable members there and they'll happily come to your aid. Ladies and gentlemen, a magnificent opportunity here, so make sure that you do not miss out on calling this lovely home yours at the end of today. Ladies and gentlemen, today's auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit the auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as your auctioneer will be indicating bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders from attempting to prevent others from bidding, and will issue fines for misconduct. The rules do permit vendor bids. The words I will be using to indicate I am placing a bid on behalf of our vendors is simply vendor bid. And by law, only I, as the auctioneer, can place those vendor bids. The settlement terms for the purchase of this home, we are not in a rush to sell this absolute masterpiece here. 30, 60, 90 days, as long as you are the right buyer, we will make it work for you here today. We're also going to be asking you for a standard 10% deposit payable this evening as per standard Victorian auction rules, and that's to be made available to the trust account of Longyi Property by bank check or a bank transfer. Now, of course, if you've had any prior arranged terms and conditions discussed and our vendors are agreeable to those terms, then you're more than comfortable to be bidding on that basis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about 30 Lisbon Street, Glen Waverley, arguably one of the best homes on the marketplace here in one of the most sought after suburbs in metropolitan Melbourne. Of course, you are literally a stone throws away from everything that Glen Waverley has on offer, from the shops in the Glen. You've got Chadston nearby as well. All the cafes and restaurants down Kingsway is all within walking distance from here. The top quality schools as well, magnificent school zoning as well, with Glen Waverley Primary School and Glen Waverley Secondary College, some of the top public schools in the area. And if that's not enough, you've got elite private schools like Wesley College, also within walking distance from here, and tertiary education such as Monash University within a short drive from this location as well. Very accessible, very premium, and some of the top quality amenities in this local area, and all while living in one of the finest homes that you'll find in Glen Waverley here, sat on 729 square metres, I must be very precise, 729 square metres of prime real estate here in Glen Waverley. 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, triple lock-up garage as well, underpinning your prospective purchase of some of the finest real estate you'll see in a long, long time in this premium suburb here. Only the finest qualities, fixtures and fittings. Our owners have spared no expense to bring you nothing but a luxury experience here today, from the rooftop tiles from Spain, hardwood floorings from America, German bathroom amenities here, Miele appliances, marble bench tops and bathrooms, full theatre room with surround sound, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen it, you've loved it, and now you're here to buy it. I'm going to hand it over to you now for your spirited bidding. Who would like to get the auction underway? And the first bidder, I believe, will get a bottle of wine. Candy, I believe you're holding that, so who would like to start things off with an opening bidder offer? 2 million. Very light on. Can we go to 4? First bid, I'm going to vendor bid to 4 million if you don't. Would you like to take the 4 million? I will see. I'm going to start the vendor bid at $4 million. Let's go straight to 4.1 as a bare minimum from there. At $4 million now, starting things off, sir. Happy to see you in at 4.1. If you'd like, $2 million's a little bit too light on. I did say anything, but maybe I lied a little bit. At $4 million now, starting things off. Who would like to jump on in at 4.1 or even 4.2? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're buying a home like this, you really need to show strength from the get-go here. Don't show any signs of weakness. This is a home that you do not want to miss out on. At $4 million now, need to be at 4.1. Otherwise, I move things along with vendor bids. Don't mind whether it's myself or you. First call now at $4 million now. Second call at $4 million now. Third and final time. What about 4.1? We'll give you the bottle of wine, yes? You don't want the bottle of wine. At $4 million now, last opportunity, counting it 3 times, I move the auction along. Any other bidders in the crowd need to make your intentions known now. First call, $4 million now the bid. Second call at $4 million. Third and final time, all done, finished, absolutely silent. And a stunning opportunity. I'm going to keep things moving along. 4.1 now. Still a bargain buy at this level for the quality that you're buying here and the location in the heart of Glen Waverley, ladies and gentlemen. I'm moving things along at 4.1. Need to be 4.2. Show a raise of hand if you're interested from here. Girls, anybody interested in the crowd, you just let me know. But at 4.1, I'm taking it away with vendor bids from here. So 4.2, Candy, welcome to your buyer and good luck to you at $4,200,000, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it, social proof and evidence that the property is wanted by somebody else. Let's go to 4.3 now and introduce the second buyer if you'd like. But at $4,200,000, Candy, your buyer in the lead and good luck to you. At $4,200,000, where do we go from here, buyers? Looking for 4.3 or more. At $4,200,000, sir, you've got some competition now. At $4,200,000 now, need to be 4.3 if you like, ladies and gentlemen. Anywhere in the crowd now, let's go straight there now. Show some shred. First call at $4,200,000. Good luck to your buyer, Candy. Second call at $4,200,000 and good luck. Third and final time. All done. All finished. All silent. Now I'm going to move things along. One last opportunity to jump on in. I'm going to vendor bid to 4.3. If you don't do so yourself, ladies and gentlemen, happy to see you in at 4.3. Otherwise, I'll place a vendor bid. One last opportunity. First call at $4,200,000. Second call, $4,200,000. Third and final time. All done. Ladies. Now, Candy, I'm going to go to 4.3 now as a vendor bid. We're going to keep things moving along. Need to be 4.4 if you'd like to jump on in. Happy to welcome 4.5 as well, but at $4,300,000, I've placed another vendor bid. We're simply going to move things along. The value of the home speaks for itself at $4,300,000. Need to be $4,400,000 now. Absolute bargain at this level at $4,300,000. Need to be 4.4 if you'd like. At $4,300,000, moving things along with vendor bids. We've got buyers out that way. Let me know if you'd like to jump back in at $4,400,000. Your opportunity now. You're in the box seat here. At $4,300,000, ladies and gentlemen. Where do we go from here? Looking for another buyer. Happy to welcome our only bidders at this stage back into the lead. At $4,300,000 now. I'm going to call it 3 times now. First call. At $4,300,000, I'll continue to place vendor bids from here. Second call at $4,300,000. Third and final time. All done. All finished. All silent now. Very tough crowd here today for a beautiful home of this caliber here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep moving things along with vendor bids until we get some more audience participation from here, so you better jump on in. Otherwise, we'll simply pass things in on a vendor bid at some point now. At $4,400,000, I'm moving things along with vendor bids, and I don't mind pushing things up because I know it's worth a lot more from there. At $4,400,000, I'm continuing to move things along with vendor bids until we see any action from more bidders here. At $4,400,000 now, let's go straight to 4.5 if you'd like. Happy to see you back in, but at $4,400,000, I'm continuing to move things along at pace because we know the value of this. We're simply trying to find the right buyer for this magnificent opportunity in the heart of Glen Waverley. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it 3 times. We're going to continue to move things along, ladies and gentlemen. First call at $4,400,000. Second call at $4,400,000. $400,000, and you're simply going to be missing out, because I'm going to keep moving things along with vendor bids to a point where you cannot enter the auction anymore. You may as well make your intentions known, have the property passed into you, know where the reserve price has been set, and negotiate exclusively with our vendor's written reserve price, third and final time, at $4,400,000 to bid. Vendor bid with myself. Now, guys, happy to see you back in at 4.5. Otherwise, I will keep placing vendor bids to a point where we're going to pass in on a vendor bid. Your opportunity to jump back in. I'm going to call it 3 times, and I'm going to place a vendor bid at 4.5. You can beat me to the punch if you'd like. At $4,400,000 now. One last opportunity. First call, second call, third, final time. Hold done, hold finished, hold silent now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to place a vendor bid at $4,500,000. We're going to take a quick pause, get some instructions from our vendor at this point in time, and likely pass the property in on a vendor bid. Your opportunity now to jump on in. We're going to get some instructions and be back to resume the auction very, very shortly. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience and anticipation while seeking our vendors' instructions. Now, at this stage, it's a very clear-cut conversation. As much as our vendors are keen to sell and looking for the right buyer here on auction day, there's simply not enough bidding to warrant popping the property on the market and selling here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, instructions from our vendor is to place one last vendor bid. I'm going to tell you where that is, but before I do, I'm going to give you an opportunity to bid and be the highest bidder, to come in and negotiate exclusively with our vendor's written reserve price. Now, I'm going to give you every opportunity. The current bid stands at $4,500,000. If you would like to bid above that, you can simply come inside and be the one to have the property passed into you and negotiate exclusively with our vendor's reserve price. We'll let you know where that is, and you can make your best offer from there. Otherwise, my instructions are to place a vendor bid at $4,800,000. So your opportunity to beat me to the punch. Any bid on top from here, we'll see you be the highest bidder invited inside, ladies and gentlemen. Handing it over to you once again for your spirited bidding. Where do we go from here? Current bid stands at $4,500,000. Happy to welcome you in to be the highest bidder and negotiate exclusively inside with our vendor's written reserve price. Otherwise, my instructions are to place a vendor bid and pass the property in at $4,800,000. If you'd like to jump on in, need to be at 4.6, or I'll even accept 4.55. I tried. I appreciate it. It's a very tough crowd here today, but instructions are very clear. Last opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, giving you plenty of time from here, even going inside and buying you some more time to strategize your bidding from there. Now, guys, happy to see you back in as well, being our opening bidder from here, to come back in at $4,550,000 or more. Have the property passed into you, ladies and gentlemen. Calling it 3 times. I place my vendor bid. Very clear instructions. First call at $4,500,000. Second call at $4,500,000. Third and final time. All done. All finished. All silent from here. I think it's pretty clear. We passed the property in, isn't it? No bites whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. I place my vendor bid at $4,800,000. We formally passed the property in. On behalf of the team at Longyi Property, we thank you very much for joining us for today's auction and look forward to updating you with the sold result very, very shortly. Thank you very much and have a good rest of your weekend.